Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with the first Friday night movies of the new year. It's a new year, and it's still going with sequels though. So we're talking about a sequel even though it's a new year. I don't know if we're moving on to new things, Tristan. I'm Matt Marrero here with Tristan Walter. Say hi to everybody, Tristan.
No, Matt, there's no point. I mean, if the first time we talked about this, we didn't die at the end of the week, we're certainly going to die this time.
Yeah, that's how you felt because they just kept on. They didn't really show the movie necessarily, like the actual VHS tape. We're talking about the Ring 2, by the way, in case any of you guys are not looking at the title of the video. Ring 2, by the way, the Japanese version, so Ringu 2. But anyway, yeah, and they just showed like so much surrounding it that I'm like, all right, we're either gonna die or become psychic. I don't know which.
Or both.
I don't know which is more appropriate. So. This movie, I don't think this movie was a bad movie.
No.
However, well, no, because I'm not going to sit here and say it's like the worst movie ever. The problem is that, like, yes, it's better than some of the, because the last thing we talked about wasn't the Ring 1. We actually talked about that Ring TV special, Kanzenban.
Right.
So it's better than Kanzenban.
Yes.
But when you look at the first Ring and everything, yeah, right? When you look at the first Ring and everything it did, and everything it set up, it felt like a complete story, minus obviously the end, which was kind of more not. I mean, it wasn't open ended because she called her dad and was like, "Hey, I got to show you this tape." So you were like, "Oh, damn." But I think because the movie didn't expand further necessarily, like we found her eventually. We find Yoichi as well, of course, throughout the film, but it just felt strange not focusing on the two of them for the majority of the film, even though, because if they were dead, I'd be like, well, then what can we do?
Yeah.
Or if there were a big reveal at the end, I'd be like near the end, and I'd be like, oh, they aren't dead, that's awesome. But revealing them in the middle really messed with the pacing.
Yeah.
Because it kind of meant to me it feels like it's a big reveal. Like, oh my God, are they dead or alive? We don't know. Wait, no, they're good. Oh, they're good. Oh, they're good. And then we're just like, okay, they're good. So, and also the fact that you had a movie that didn't want to focus that much on Sadako, but more around Yoichi, and I don't think it worked because it kind of, to me anyway, it took it out of being a horror movie. Because the first one to me, yes, there was so many supernatural elements that were picked up here, to be fair. But the first one felt like it was more like, no, you could die. Don't watch this tape. Just be very careful. You could, there's clearly like these weird supernatural occurrences that can make you feel more compelled to watch it, apparently. All this stuff going on. Do not get anywhere near this tape. It will kill you and everyone you love. It's a curse. It's a ring. Don't do it. So in this one, it felt more like, oh, no. She was dispatched of. Don't worry about it. It's like, wait, what? Then why is there a Ring 2? I got to be honest. I'm not a big fan of, even though I have watched a lot of the movies, I'm not a big fan necessarily of when an American franchise for, like, let's say Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, or Friday the 13th, when they're like, hey, I know that this guy, either Freddy or Jason, died in the last one, but don't worry about that. They're back. Just don't think about it. They're back. And you're like, okay, right. Same thing with like Halloween. Same thing with Halloween. Like, okay, but just because they didn't do that doesn't mean I'm going to be happy with them making an entire sequel and still showing her a little bit here and there, making you think, oh, no. She might appear, but she's not really going to, though. Because remember, they got rid of the curse. And it's like, wait, but if they got rid of the curse, then why are these people reacting this way? Oh, because the visions still exist. It's like, I mean, it's a cool concept to think, psychic abilities can project the same way that Sadakos could project. And I guess arguably you could say if there's a Sadako out there, then why wouldn't there be others? But the issue is that Sadako, at least in this movie, was made to in the first movie, in this version of events, because obviously this Ring 1 and 2 differ greatly from the novels. At least the first one does. I don't know about the second one. I actually don't know if the second one follows the novel Rasen as much, but I know the first one does not. So because they made her kind of into, in my opinion, just evil, just straight up evil, Sadako, it feels weird to be like, yes, and others can be straight up evil too. And it's like, oh my goodness, how? Are they like possessed by Sadako? And it's just kind of like, they're psychic. It's like, oh. I mean, you were telling me something before we began the show. You were saying that it feels like Sadako, because her psychic powers are so strong, she's living through other people's memories in a sense. So, in a way, her evil influence is spreading to others.
Right, and it felt like, even though, well, I guess for like, because it seemed like more copies of the tape were somehow going, or like more copies were being made of the tape too. So like the idea that her image, even if the original tape is gone or if the other tapes are destroyed, like her image is still in people's minds, and that fear is still there, and that's still keeping the evil spirit around. But I guess the thing that bothers me is that, it really felt like I thought we kind of put her to rest finally, but I guess she was angry enough that like, no, that's not good enough anymore. Well,
I think we should have. What I think we should have done is we should have went either 100% in one way or 100% in the other way. Either she's alive and kicking, good God,
right?
Or,
oh God,
yeah, or this, not like alive, but like she's still supernatural and kicking. Or
right.
The second one, we make it more about people making copies of these tapes and how can we stop them from making copies of the tapes. Sure, it would be a bit more of a drama and a bit of a departure from the first one, but this was already so much of a departure in the drama department, I would argue. Like, I mean, let's look at one part of the film that clearly is so drama inspired that in a way it kind of defies logic slightly. And maybe there's a director's cut or there's a deleted scene that I don't know about, or in the novel it's explained better, but in the movie it looks so strange that when Keiko, when she dies, Keiko, right? Mm-hmm. Or am I getting the name wrong? The mom?
Which mom?
The mom, the main character. Yeah.
Yeah. Kazuichi.
She was the only mom.
Right.
What? Yeah, Keiko. That was her name, right?
You mean Yoichi's mom, or?
Yes.
I feel like they changed her name.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, yeah, I'm sorry, because technically Sadako's mom was like in the movie for like 5 seconds to be creepy in Yoichi's dreamscape projection. But no, I'm referring to Yoichi's mom though, because the reason why I'm saying this is because like Yoichi's mom gets hit by a car, so Yoichi's like shit.
That actually made me sad. I was like, no, I thought you were going to live.
That pissed me off so much. It was like, all right, it's like, anyone here who isn't an orphan, stand up. Yoichi's crouching. Stay crouching, Yoichi. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, his mom dies, right? He nearly strangles a police officer. But they're still all there, the police officer and then the other two. Yet she's able to run away with Yoichi.
I mean, at that point, they're all in such shock. They're like, aren't you going to go after her? Oh, no!
I know, but like, and I guess maybe you're right. That's the thought. Like, well, who's going to take that kid down? You all have guns. You shouldn't shoot the kid, but if you're sitting... No, you shouldn't. Should you shoot the kid? No. But if the kid has these psychic powers and he just strangled them in the police station, he pushed them aside with his psychic power. Like, holy shit. There should be a manhunt right now.
What else can he do? Like, I wouldn't necessarily say he'd be able to stop bullets, but hey, you never know.
Okay, but again, there's two options. We should at least somehow try to find a way to get him in versus let him go, whatever. He can kill people with those powers. What are we, cops?
What are we, law enforcement? Sir?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if they found out like the girl, like, you know, Sadako was like, if they actually found out, like, wait a minute, this is all legit, she's actually killing people with the projections, they wouldn't be like, well, it's a videotape, what can we do? No, they'd be like, let's burn the tapes.
Yeah.
We're law enforcement. So
shouldn't we call the authorities? We are the authorities, sir. No, not the authorities on this. I mean, come on. Who has the number for the Ghostbusters? Seriously.
Yeah.
Sir,
basically, right?
I don't know if they do worldly calls. Damn it.
just flying them in from New York.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
But I mean, this movie.
Actors, Ghostbusters, just coming in, but like speaking in English, but having Japanese subtitles underneath.
Bill Murray was in Japan around that time for Lost in Translation. I think that's good enough. We can get him.
There we go. Just edit in some clips.
Just edit in some clips. We're good.
Oh my God.
It's just, man, like, I don't hate this movie, but there's little things like that I know that you're right though. Like, he's psychic. He just tried to kill a cop. What are you going to do? But at the same time, it's like, well, again, you're cops. So the fact that they were just able to run away, it felt. Also, the fact that Yoichi and his mom were even on the run in the first place was strange. I guess the thought is, oh, you're going to want to put him away in a psyche. Like, I don't know, like.
Yeah. That, and it felt like her dad died. Like, she showed her dad the videotape, and then apparently, because they find his body, it's like, did you not, like, bury him? Or anything? It's like, no, you just left the body there. So it's kind of like, well, this is going to look like a murder. Guess I'm going to have to hide the body. Or at least, like, call an ambulance and be like, yeah, so my father just had a heart attack. And, like, kind of cover it up in a sense.
That's what's strange to me, is that, like, maybe maybe the movie was trying to say, no, Yoichi's powers, as you can tell, are getting stronger. But
right.
I don't understand. Like, because they didn't really show that his powers were that strong until we saw them in the middle of the movie. So to me, it didn't really register as like, oh, this is why he's – because, like, oh, he's not talking anymore. And that's why you don't bring him to school. Well, then they'd want to put him in a hospital. But, like, we could just put him in a normal hospital. Like, unless there's something that I don't know about Japan's, like – the way they treat their psychiatric patients, or like immediately, it's like, well, the kid doesn't want to talk anymore. Well, lock him up. What can we do? What are we, medical professionals? Sir, we are medical professionals. So, like, what are, like, you're saying, like, so I don't know, like, her fear seemed irrational to me. And to me, it kind of just, like I said, played up the drama more so than the supernatural or the supernatural aspect.
Right.
So it feels like anything from the first movie that we thought was too dramatic, it felt like this second movie was like, no, hold my beer. No, hold my sake.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's a sequel, so.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I know you want to rev up certain... because you want to...
I mean, sequel logic dictates that it must be more dramatic than the first one.
Well, not that it's more dramatic. It's not that it revs up certain parts of the first movie. It's just that you would hope that they'd rev up the supernatural aspect more. And some say that the psychic part is the supernatural, but I mean more so like if the first one is like, oh, we have Sadako, the second one would be like, Sadako was actually a set of twins or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, oh God. See, what I thought was going to happen when Yoichi started showing, like having powers like Sadako, or his powers morphing, or her powers emanating through him, or however you want to think about it.
Yeah.
I thought that Sadako was trying to possess him and come back that way. I thought
that made sense.
And then the idea when they had her remains and they were making, a facial structure out of clay, I thought she was gonna like try and get a physical body again, and then terrorize people.
That makes sense. And it's so strange that they didn't go in that direction. And it was just, that's the thing, because it felt like they were going to go there. And maybe they were trying to, like, no, we totally could have, but we didn't. Because it's just like, if they were trying to go there, it was very hard for me to tell because Yoichi seemed just like Yoichi, just Oh no.
Yeah.
When you get those, it just feels like psychic powers equals evil. Like,
Right,
do you have
yeah.
psychic powers? Yes. Oh no.
Right.
At least for Yoichi, because it felt like his
I'm
were
sorry.
directly.
He has the plague. What? I mean, psychic
kind of.
powers. Oh
Yeah, right. If only he had the plague.
no!
So it's
Right.
and it was just so strange to me anyway. Also, okay. So it's not that I wanted the characters to be dead from the first film, but I think that in a way they held the film back because they had to be included again.
Right.
Where, in a way, I would have preferred the doctor's assistant, who is totally not his girlfriend, and I love that, by the way, too. It's just like, I'm just his assistant. It's just like, of course you are. Is that what you tell all the police officers interrogating you? And oh, by the way, even the police too. They upped that drama. Like I felt like I was watching an American police show, seeing the cop interrogate her and just being like, yeah. It's like she witnessed his death. You mean the murder she committed? Officer, please. Officer Kamen Rider, please calm down. He's in Kamen Rider, by the way. He isn't a Kamen Rider, but the eccentric police officer that got choked out by Yoichi. Right. He's actually in a certain Kamen Rider show, and you're never going to believe this. Guess what show he was on? You're never going to fucking guess. Sasuke. Do you know what the show Sasuke is in America?
No.
Ninja Warrior.
Well, okay.
Yes, the comp that got choked out by Koichi was actually on the. It's funny. I can say now I have to say the Japanese version because there's actually American Ninja Warrior. The Japanese version of Ninja Warrior. I think he was in the 90s, so like I think it was before this film. I don't remember what he did specifically that was like made him so ripped. If he was like an ex-firefighter or something like that, but he was a very tough guy, resilient to fucking be on Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. But also he's in Kamen Rider as well. If anyone's like Googling, like, wait, what he was? Yeah, he was the train conductor in Kamen Rider Den-O, which is really funny. It's a train that goes through time, Tristan. Don't think about it. And so, yeah, right. It's like police boxes, trains, whatever.
You know who you're talking to.
Yeah, you know who. Haha. But it's just the thing about the cop is that, again, looking at American police procedurals, either the police are like super duper like heroes, like they can do nothing wrong, they're amazing, or in the interrogation room they're just like, all right, you sack of crap, who the hell do you think you are? And it's just like, I'm here for a parking ticket.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, it's just one or the other. Either like you're gods and you're amazing, you can do no wrong, or you're slamming the guy on the table because he like just didn't put up 25 cents in the fucking meter. Yeah, he jaywalked. He jaywalked. Let's take him in.
Let's took him down.
Yeah, right. Just slam his head on the table. Will you ever jaywalk again? I don't know, but I'll answer you when I don't have this concussion.
I don't think I'll ever walk again. Good.
Yeah.
Then you can't repeat the same crime twice.
Basically, and that's just, but that's the thing. That's just to me. That's what I've seen in a lot of like American or either TV shows or movies. It's like in the interrogation room, the cops are just like, "Why are you rolling up your sleeves?" I don't want to get blood on my uniform. Like, holy shit, dude, chill. Like, no, because that's how the interrogation. So like, it kind of felt that way in his interrogation, where he's just like, just ripping into her, and he's just like, "I'm sorry. It's just that, this case interests me." It's just
this
like,
is
dude,
so strange.
her teacher died.
Oh, God.
Like, dude.
Yeah, he was. But he was a creep. Yeah.
But the end of that scene, though, that made me smile because it was a very good tactic. Hit her with a lot of info at first. She says, "Don't like stop." He goes, I'm sorry. You're right. That was, I'm just very interested in this case. And then blindsides her with, so do you know about the videotape? And I'm like, oh, shit.
Right.
Like, that there, if anyone's like, well, what was that like? Mike Tyson, just boom, knock you the fuck out. That was, it's like, how do you describe her in that scene? I'll say Little Mac against the Dream.
Oh, my God.
Just boom. Just knock the fuck out. No, that was a really good question, though. Like, let's be real. Like, I didn't like him for hitting her because, like, she witnessed the death of her professor, who's totally not her boyfriend. So it really sucks that he comes and he's just saying all this terrible shit. It's just like, stop. But the end there with the tape, it's like, he knows that she knows about the tape.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck doesn't? Because it's, it's a huge myth, and, like, everyone's talking about, all the youngins are talking about that tape.
True. Although, well, I mean, I was happy because Yoichi force-choked him, so.
I felt weird about the force choke, though, because, like, just because I don't like him because he's kind of weird. Here's the thing. I didn't like him in the beginning because I was like, dude, you're weird. But in the middle of the movie, I'm like, all right, he's just a cop trying to do his job. Like, they didn't keep up the creep factor.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
Sadako, are you okay? Sorry, no water for like 30 years.
No, there was water at the bottom of that well. That probably would have messed up her throat even more so, but...
Yes, so I wanna talk to you about that as well. I believe I mentioned this when we did the first movie for the podcast. Mm-hmm. I said to you, I don't think they mentioned it in the first film, but I said, she was alive in that well for years. Sorry if I spoiled it for anybody. And then in this movie, they're like, yeah, no, she was in the well for years, dude. And when I said this to you in the first movie, you were like, well, that's improbable. How do you feel about it now? Same? Just like, why?
Well, yeah, pretty much. It's like, the body was only dead, like, a year or two ago from the decay on the actual corpse. It's like, excuse me? I know she has psychic powers, but does that translate to I can sustain myself for 30 years in a well and not die? I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't think so. That's not where my mind jumps to when I think psychic abilities, but all right.
See, yes, and that is one of the things that I disliked about this movie. I have no problem with introducing bullshit and then explaining it, but because, and when I say, by the way, I'm not trying to be super harsh when I say bullshit. I'm just saying that a lot of movies, and I'm talking about a lot of movies that stray into the supernatural realm, will introduce bullshit. They just will. It's just bullshit. But they explain their bullshit, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's the way your bullshit works. And that's that. Well, because you look at something like Nightmare on Elm Street, right? You look at Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's just like, he can only attack you in your dreams, and you can die in the dreams. And if you get hurt in the dreams, if you get hurt in the dreams, you can show it in real life. So what happens in one of the movies? They try to pull Freddy out of the dream world into the real world. It's bullshit.
Right.
But guess what? They explained it. Hey, this is our plan. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
But in this movie, they just... What?
It kind of felt what they were trying to do here, or even like the scientist that takes them.
Sort of, yes. Yes, which is funny. This movie, in a way, it does make me think of Nightmare on Elm Street in a sense because of the whole, like, it seems like Sadako's living through other people and their powers. Also, funnily enough, the people that do survive, when they do bring up later movies and have crossovers with Nightmare on Elm Street, they do seem to have, like, different abilities, be they psychic or otherwise. But my point is this, right, Tristan? My point is that it's a bullshit thing to try to bring Freddy into the real world, but they explained it. They didn't just not explain it and then bring him into the real world, and we're all sitting there like, wait, how did that happen?
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like this movie did a little bit of that where it's kind of just like, oh, she's been alive for this many years. And I'm like, by the way, let's also put something out there. this movie seems to be doing the whole, not psychic powers. We use the word psychic a lot, but the word we're really looking for, I can't think of it right now, but it's used in anime a lot. What?
Esper?
Thank you, Esper. Thank you. They're trying to go for Esper more than psychic. Did I say that in the first movie?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. So I think they're trying to do that more because they're clearly trying to go with, like I would not be surprised if, like, Sadako literally, and I know I'm going to be a dick in saying this, but I'm being legit, Sadako pulled out a fucking, like, Hadoken or some shit. Because they're going for, like, I have superpowers versus I can see the future.
Right.
I don't know if they...
the spirit realm.
Yes. Now, I don't know... Well, I mean, psychic, you can technically go there. It's just that it's not as, fucking grandiose as it is in a movie like this, right? Or just in film in general. Or like an anime, stuff like that. But the reason why I bring this up is I don't know if they said Esper. It's funny. I watched the whole movie. I should have fucking heard or listened out for the word Esper. I don't know if they used it, but obviously any translation.
It either.
Yeah, but I know translations use obviously psychic ability, so that's why we're talking about it as if it's psychic ability. Which, when you say the phrase psychic ability, you're limiting yourself so much. But when you say that person's an Esper, you're like, oh, I'm gonna back the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like arguably, if you want to look at. I mean, if you want to look at, like, an American interpretation, like, Esper equals, like, the Force or something like that. I mean, you really use the word force choke when Yoichi force choked Vader. I know, and here's what's funny. You're like, no, Esper involves the Earth. It's the ability for one to be psychically in tune with the Earth, God damn it. Well, not the Earth, but, like, nature.
Okay.
But because to say Earth and Star Wars, I can hear the clacks of the keyboards now, Tristan.
Oh my God.
I can hear it doesn't. There's no Earth. It happened a long time ago. But still, I feel like even though I know they're going for Esper, it still doesn't work for me because it felt like they weren't really explaining certain rules.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that's my biggest complaint about the movie. They didn't really explain certain rules, and when it came to the characters, I feel like we were trying to stay in the middle. Whereas, like, let's ramp up the drama, but don't worry, there's still psychic stuff going on. There's still Esper stuff going on. And it's like, guys, look, I'd rather there be another ghost. I mean, I'd rather, the girl that died, the teenage girl that died, I'd rather her ghost be a villain throughout the entire film, rather than her being shown at the end. And we know they're not going to follow up on it, because why would they make a Ring 3 without anyone other than her colleague?
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, again, they haven't done it yet. I don't think they ever will, really.
No, she's going to, the other girl, her ghost will now find other psychics to possess and have them project her to multiple TVs at a time. And this is how we get into the future map. She doesn't work through VHS. She just goes straight into your TV screen. So that brand new bang-smacking flat screen TV that you just got, it's got ghosts all over it, and it's haunting you, and now you're going to die in a week. And you're going to have to get someone a new flat screen TV and have them project the image onto their TV so it passes from you, but you're still going to die anyway because this new ghost is like, nah, you don't get to live anyway.
Here's how I stop her. Here's how I stop her, right? I don't download the app on my TV. Boom.
There you go.
That's how I do it. I don't search the ghost that died in Ring 2 app.
No, but Matt, it turns up in your Netflix like, you should watch this. And people are like, maybe terrible. I should watch this.
That would be terrible. Damn streaming.
You like, this and this. Maybe you would like this. And it's just a blank image, and the title is like, it's weird. You know it's there, but you can't actually read it. It's like, it kind of looks incomprehensible, but you see letters, so you click on it to see, like, what the hell is this? And then that's when she gets you.
after a few hours of it playing, Netflix would just be like, "Are you still watching the tape that's going to kill you?"
Yeah, and it's just
Are
you still watching? It's just like blood dripping from it. Are you still watching?
Are you still watching your death? Like,
so
no,
I
not.
just created the Ring 3. There you go. You can thank me
There you
later.
go.
Send me emails and appreciation later.
I thought there was a Ring 3, but just like an American version, not a Japanese version. There's more Ring movies. Don't get me wrong. They just don't follow this Ring timeline.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
if you don't know, there's another. Yeah. If you don't know, Tristan, there's another Ring movie called Rasen, and so basically this movie got 2 sequels in 2 different timelines.
Well,
it got Rasen first. The problem is, apparently, people didn't really enjoy Rasen or it didn't do well in the box office. So they were like, ooh, let's get the original creators back to do Ring 2. From like the creators as in people who did the Ring 1. Let's get them back to the Ring 2. And then they did, and then this happened. But I think any of the future Ring movies, and there are a few, at least 2, they follow what happened in Rasen, not in Ring 2.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, which is fine because you can get Rasen. Like, we can watch Rasen no problem. It's not like it's not subtitled.
Right.
But, yeah, but the reason why I wanted to do the Ring 2 with you is because it follows this continuity, obviously, a bit closer because it's the same creators and everything. So I wanted to do this with you before doing Rasen and any other future Ring movies.
And you had to have a balance between me and Anthony Toto. You know, the Grudge 2, the Ring 2, everything has to have equivalent exchange.
First off, all right, I did the Grudge 2 with Anthony.
All of your co-hosts.
I did the Grudge 2 with Anthony so long ago. I mean, that was like last year, man.
Oh my God.
Did it like 2 weeks ago? But no, yeah, I know I sound like I'm going on a tirade about like, oh, I dislike this movie, I hate this movie. I think it's just when comparing it to the first one, it's lacking, and I think that the best way to, even though this movie still tried to tiptoe between both, I think the best way to describe this movie, it's very reminiscent of The Exorcist 1 and 2. Have you seen The Exorcist?
No.
Oh, dude, I got to get you to see The Exorcist now. Not even for a podcast. You got to like sit you down and be like, we're watching the fucking Exorcist. It's such a good movie. But
you'll make it for a podcast.
No, I might not even. I might just need you to see it. Just be you, me, just in your room, you're like, Matt, you've already seen this movie. I'm like, I'm on the covers. I know. But so anyway, so the first movie, spoilers, the world doesn't get overrun by demons. In the second movie, however, they follow the girl from the first movie, but there aren't really much, like, it's more of like a feeling of foreboding, but there isn't really like a demonic presence, and it's not really meant to be like a follow-up, like, oh, we are like bringing in demons and all this shit, and so what they ended up doing was they ended up going in, I swear to God, in a psychic direction, and it was more about spirituality.
Right.
And it actually, because the director was like, I'm being serious here, was like a super hippie. I think he even called himself a hippie at the time. So he went in a direction that was more like, basically like some of the more psychic stuff in this movie, like astral projection and stuff like that, versus it being just about the supernatural, which is like, funny that shit. So, yeah. So here we have something a bit similar, kind of going in a different direction, and it's weird when a film does it, because you either want them to do it 100% or you want them to not do it at all.
Right.
I.e., either go in a different direction, right, have it be about the police officers looking for different people, showing off the tapes to others. And then, of course, because these people are showing off tapes to others, then that's how you introduce more Sadako death, right? Or you just have Sadako being okay somehow, and which I guess maybe they thought, no, that's what we're doing with this movie, but it wasn't okay enough because, I mean, think about how long it took for us to have someone get killed by Sadako. Like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was rough in that regard. But do you think I'm being harsh on this movie, or do you?
I mean, no, like you said, you're just pointing out some criticisms. You're not saying it was a bad movie or anything. Like, even I, like, watching this, by the end of it, I was like, you know what? I actually kind of enjoyed that. I maybe didn't understand a few things going on here and there, and I even saw the first movie, but
And that's the issue right there, and that's one of the criticisms, and that's why it's like you can say, like, that's the thing too, by the way. I think that some people don't know, at least about us, or, I mean, I would hope if you've been listening for years now, you do know this about us, but there's some people that either, you might be listening for the first time, or you just might not, realize this. There's some people out there, especially, and I know this of you, Tristan, when you say I like something, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're saying it's the best thing that's ever been created.
right.
Like, you can say, oh, there are some big major flaws in this, but I still like it.
Right.
And you've done that with certain films, either that we've talked about on the podcast or ones that we even haven't, right? So, like, you saying, like, oh, what?
No, I'm just glad, because I'm trying to think of what example you're going to use, if any, but yeah.
I'm not, Tristan, come on. I'm not pointing out one Super Mario Brothers movie example. But
oh, my God. You know what the best thing is? I'm not the only one, so you know what?
I love it. Like, there weren't Three Stooges. Anyway, I'm sorry. That was rough. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, gee, I'm sorry. It's just you were making it seem like it's the majority opinion for some reason.
It's okay. I got a videotape to show you later. Don't worry about it.
Anthony, I'll call up Anthony Toto. I got a videotape to show you, too. He's going to call you, and you're going to be like, nope, click. You're going to be like, nope. But anyway, you know what's funny? The videotape will be the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I'll still die in 7 days. Anyway, but look, okay, but I wasn't actually thinking of that movie. I was just thinking of in general, like, you know, like, and me too, right? Like, I'll sit back and be like, look, the majority of, people are saying this wasn't good. I might agree, but I'll still like it. So I can't think of anything else out of my head, though, to be fair. But my point is that, you're not saying that, oh, this movie is, criticism-free, because fuck no. But, yeah, I mean, you did enjoy it.
I doubt really anything is criticism-free, really,
True, but there's, like, some movies that can just wow you completely, where you're like, I can't think of one thing wrong. Like, for me, Dragon Ball Evolution, I can't think of one thing wrong with that movie. Although I have a thesis, though. To be fair, I have written a thesis on that film, so maybe... Tristan? All right, that killed him.
I was gonna wait for a few minutes and be like, it's like he actually hung up. I don't believe.
Oh no! I thought you were making the face from the movie. I was like, yeah, that killed him.
I mean that too, but
just the distorted face. I was like, yep, that'll do it.
Have you seen anyone die like this? Yeah, the professor that I loved. Thank you for reminding me of that.
When you say it like that, have you seen anyone die like this? It sounds like you're doing a JoJo pose as you die.
Oh my.
Sounds like you're dying in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure poses.
Hey, if I have to go, that's going to be the way.
Just, he died the way he lived, with new underpants on New Year's Day.
Oh, my God. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man, it's just, this movie, like I said, it's solid. It's just, I really think they had to go hard in one direction or the other, and they didn't. And that really hurt the movie. I don't see why there needed to be a sequel if we weren't going to go hard in one direction or the other. And frankly, I don't see why we had to have that at the end. Maybe because they thought, and by the way, the movie did very well in the box office, to be real here. But just because it's fun, just because it did well doesn't mean that there needs to be a sequel, doesn't mean that there will be a sequel. Because here's the funny thing, right? You can have a movie do super duper well in the box office, and just because it does, in no way means that the public reception, like you can have a movie that's like, wow, this movie made like double its budget. Yeah, but everyone hated it. Don't do this again.
Yeah.
It happens, you know.
Yeah.
So. It's just, and guess what? There was never a third one. There were other movies, of course, but they didn't tie into Ring 2, and it's kind of like,
right.
I don't want to say like I wonder why, but I don't really think this movie, even maybe they thought, no, this movie is open-ended enough that there'll be more, but like I felt like it was open-ended, but not in a way where you could make a third one out of this. Like I think if there was a third one, it would be just bad. Like this, like they wrote themselves into a corner, in my opinion.
Right.
Now that I'll say, right, I feel like even though this movie didn't technically close everything up, it still didn't make it open enough in a way where I'd go, like, would you see a third one based on the end of this movie? That I'll ask you. Yeah, you see what I mean? You didn't hate this movie, but like, there you go. You don't hate this movie, but would you see a third one? And your response is, oh, no. I don't know.
I mean, because it would feel like they'd have to go, in my opinion, full psychic or full Esper and just have, like, Yoichi being, like, fighting spirits and something like, I don't know, what are they called? Probably call him a spirit detective or something like that. Yeah, like, that could work. Hey, Ken, I've got a job for you. Why do I hear a small child talking in my brain?
Yoichi legit looks like the kid that fucking got pushed out of the way with the ball in the first episode. He does.
That's my headcanon now.
Oh, but I would like to mention, by the way, it's not the kid's fault. It's not the kid's fault. But he isn't the best actor, and I mentioned this in the first one. It's not his fault, though.
I mean,
but, like, there's just certain points where he needs to be, like, super duper dramatic because, again, they're, like, revving it up to 100. And you have, like, Ryuji, you have, like, his dad, like, oh, and he's just like,
Oh,
and I'm like, no, kid, no. And then, like, they show him another shot, and it's like he's, you know, baring his teeth, like, grr, grr, grr. And I'm like, okay, good, you're doing it now. But for a little bit there, you weren't doing anything, kid. So I think that, in a way, I hate to say it, would have been another good reason to just, you know, I hate to say kill off the characters, but, like, do something where, like, the characters aren't in the majority of the film.
Right.
Like, I don't know if Bloodlines was the best way to, like, this isn't JoJo. I don't know if Bloodlines was the best way, like, direction to go with in this movie. I know thematically it makes sense because, you know, his dad just died in the last one. His grandpa's dead. His mom wasn't, but then was. So like, it makes sense to go there, but I don't know. I just think that it didn't work as well as they may have wanted it to.
Are you saying that fighting his vampire half-brother wouldn't have given him new purpose in life, man?
No, damn it, you're right. You know what? You're absolutely right. The third movie is going to be Yoichi as an elderly man with his grandson fighting Sadako in the desert. That's what I predict. That'll be the third movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so one good thing I did like about the movie. I liked that it felt like they were kind of going through the angle of, I mean, I guess more midway for Yuichi, but like the fact that Mai wanted to know why her professor died, and it kind of took the idea of people on the outside of the incident that we saw in the first movie. It's like the outside people now being brought in, being like, why did this have to happen? Or, you know, something like that,
yes.
Following them around.
Yes. And that's why I wanted to keep them that way. Like, upgrade them to main character status throughout the movie.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what thank you so much for bringing that up, because I enjoyed that so much. And then what happens? We end up having Reiko's assistant be downgraded back to supporting guy once she appears.
Right.
Which, believe me, I like her character. I'm not saying I didn't want her. It's funny. I'm not saying, I don't want her in the movie because of her character, because of her actress. Like, no. They were my favorite parts. Her and Yoichi were my favorite parts of the first movie. Well, okay, maybe not Yoichi, but like him being in the movie, like his character, yes.
Right.
But of course, believe me, like it's funny because some people are gonna be like, "Why are you being mean about his actor?" Look, all right, he's not the worst. It's just like at any moment,
I'm the one who's supposed to hate on children, not you. Get it right.
Well, you hate the characters. That's what you do. I'm just saying like the kid's acting ability was a little. But to be fair, it wasn't like he was gonna scream out like this is pod racing at any point. So it's not like his acting was there, but still. Oh, that guy was a hang up. Anyway.
But he was quiet, withdrawn, like me as a child. Oh God, that's why I like his character, man. Oh Jesus.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, same, but I just think that as much as I like the two of them, I really wanted the assistant to become main character status along with the professor's quote-unquote assistant, i.e. Ryuji's dad, or Yoichi's dad, Ryuji, i.e. not his girlfriend. It would have been nice. Yeah. And then it felt like they she stayed a main character, which is nice, but in a way she sort of got pushed aside too.
Yeah, it was Mai.
Yeah.
That was her first.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Mai, it was weird that she got powers. It's like, oh, by the way, don't tell anyone about this power. You won't save anyone with them anyway. Professor? What's going on?
I think because she was having a flashback. So I think what was happening is she was having a flashback to when she first realized, like, oh, Professor, do you live around here? And he's like, yeah. Oh, and by the way, I know that you got psychic powers. So, like, she was supposed to have them the whole time. She was just a minor character in the first movie, so we never noticed.
Huh. Okay. I guess that's a good way of thinking about it.
But I do think it's still a problem no matter what, because it does feel like everybody got psychic powers.
Well, yeah,
because another... no, like,
it's
dude,
Japan. Everyone has psychic powers.
No, but this is the
late...
But that's the thing. This is the late 90s. Why are they trading around psychic powers like they're fucking Pokemon cards? Like, dude, like, just fucking stick to Pokemon.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, they're like, or the doctor is like, no, we must combat her. We must combat Sadako with science. This is the 90s. You must believe in science.
Then he jumps into a fucking pool with a fucking machine. Great science, Doc.
Yep.
My thing is that, like, I have no problem with her with the psychic power thing. Then I guess you could say I like that they got Tomoko's friend. I like that they, concluded, like, they actually tied that in.
Yeah.
So it's not like they departed from the movie completely, to be fair, like, in terms of the events. It's just that... She was what?
No, sorry. I was trying to think of her name. I think it was Mizuho or...
Yeah. She ended up, because she saw... Yes. Because she saw Sadako, it was kind of Sadako being like, look, I'm not coming for you, but, like, back the fuck off.
Right. I'm going to, chill in your brain until I can get out of here.
That's the thing, too, right? Like, is she chilling in her brain, or is it like... Oh, because the thing, too, is that, like, she's at the hospital, which seemingly... So, like, here's something that I'm confused about, Tristan. She's at that hospital, and the doctor at that hospital, it seems like he's sitting back like, yes, these are women who are troubled, who have mental issues, and that's why they're here. But, like, he also believes in psychic stuff, like Ryuji. So that confuses me. Like, is that just like his? And I'm not even kidding here. Like his side thing. Is he like, no, I'm here to help the mentally ill, but I also believe in ghosts and shit. Like, is that his side
it kind of feels
thing?
like the Doctor is going the way of the bad Doctor. It's like, this one has psychic abilities. I can use you in experiments and get my fame and fortune from you. I think he's like
because he
starting
believes
down that dark road.
Yes, but because he believes, at least in the beginning, it felt like because I believe, not because I want to just make profit. Like, more so like, I will prove them all wrong because I know that they're actually psychics. They all laughed at me, which you could say is a bad way to look at it. But I think it's a bit different than I'm going to make riches. Like, I'm going to sell these books.
Yeah.
The first Doctor was a piece of shit. She was like, I'm just going to sell books because I can make money. This one felt more like they've ostracized me because I believe in ghosts.
Right.
It's like, well, I mean, that's not really a stretch. And because I believe that people have psychic abilities, well, that's not really much of a stretch either. And that they can imprint themselves onto pictures and their names on the pictures, and that they can, okay, Doc, chill the fuck out. It's getting weird.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I want to mention that it's so creepy to have Sadako's name written on the picture, because I don't know if you remember, or if anyone's watching or listening and they don't know, Sada means anger, like separately.
Mm.
So imagine just seeing a picture in the dark and just having the words anger imprinted onto it. Like, how fucking creepy is that shit?
Right.
Like, let's be real, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, man, I feel so bad. It's like, and I don't hate this movie. Do you not, Matt? No, I don't. But, because I you're right. I do like the, like you mentioned it, and I agree with you. I like that they went with other people and tried to upgrade them. The same way, in a way they did with the second Grudge movie, which is, I'm not going to go too into detail with because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I have talked about this movie with Anthony Toto on the podcast as well. I think it was Monday Night Movies, though, not Friday night. But still, and it was kind of similar. It was like, oh, let's take these characters that were kind of had a smaller role in the first one, and let's kind of upgrade them in the second one. But, I mean, that had its own set of problems, too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a Japanese thing necessarily, because I don't really see that many Japanese horror films that have sequels. I usually see horror films, Japanese versions, but, like, I don't really see their sequels. So, like, it's so, I think, strange to me that you're going to make a sequel and not necessarily carry on with the first villain. And I'm not going to say that never happened in America. That's silly. I mean, we had Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. We've had a bunch of other films that, you know, have been sequels but not really continued the story necessarily. But it's just so strange to both, because if you don't know, if anyone doesn't know, this movie is supposed to have taken place 2 weeks after the first. So this movie is so close to the original, a bit like Insidious and Insidious 2. Which are really good movies too, Tristan. Those you have to fucking watch. I will make you do a podcast on those. But while they're good movies, at least those have a way of, in my opinion, following up very well with the first one. Taken in a direction I didn't expect necessarily, and in a direction I don't know if I was the biggest fan of the direction in Insidious 2, but I can say that it still felt like it was an Insidious movie. Where arguably this doesn't. Like, it's clearly The Ring too, but if some of the characters had different names, would you have gone, wait a minute, is this the one with the cursed tape? Obviously, yes, there was a cursed tape, but, like, you know what I'm saying? If certain smaller things were changed, would you be like, wait a minute?
At some point, I would have gone, wait, back the fuck up a second. I've
Is
seen
this The Ring? Yeah. But I mean, because that's why I know every time I say that it's not only just names, but still, you know, it did feel like it was a bit of a departure, but I still think it should have went even farther though, because again, it tried to put its toes too much into. No, don't worry, we're still The Ring. That it just felt jarring.
Right.
Yeah. But also, I still don't know what happened with that doctor at the end. Like, looking in the spirit world corrupted him, I guess?
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Well, I have to say, I did really enjoy the end sequence.
Oh yes, as a sequence.
The setup of it, and the Doctor putting all the things together was kind of weird. But once they were actually in it, and it was, the pool rippling and all the spirits coming out of it, and then them being in the well, I'm like, oh, what is going on? Why?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I was like, oh, I'm hiding now.
No. I understand what you mean 100%. And although what I will say, though, is I didn't find anything wrong with the setup, because it actually reminded me of there was this about the show Stranger Things, and I'm not going to spoil what specifically, but it actually reminds me of Stranger Things a little bit. And that's another show that I'm going to say, Tristan, watch it.
Yes, I know. I need to.
I already did a podcast on the first season with Courtney, who's come on, usually on Those Guys Play, on our Let's Play channel, but still Tristan. Yeah. Stranger Things. But so it reminded me of that, so I actually didn't find it too jarring. I just felt it was strange for this movie, and that's why, again, the whole, oh, we're doing this because it's about his powers relating to Sadako, so we're still the Ring, and it's like, I don't think I would have seen this in the Ring.
Mm.
And I know there's some people out there that they feel like a sequel shouldn't be too much like the original, otherwise why just watch the original? And I get that.
Yeah.
But
right.
This isn't something like Star Wars where you're like, "Oh, I want something different because, I know some people have complained about the newest one. I haven't seen the newest one yet, but the reason why I bring this up, right, is because, and also Tristan, don't say go watch the new one. I swear to fucking God. He's like, I found what I can yell at Matt about. But the reason why I'm talking about the new Star Wars film. Now, hey, you'll bring it up at the most inopportune moment. Tristan, help me! You should go see the new movie. But still,
falling into the well. Hurry up! Did you see the new movie yet? I'll take that as a no. Drop.
No. You're pulling me up. I look down and I'm like, I can't hold you. You're gonna have to let go. You're like, Matt, who are you talking to? All the fucks that I give. You let me go.
Oh my God.
You just let me go completely.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would.
But still, when the reason why I'm bringing it up though, it's so convoluted. Why did I bring it up? Because it's fucking movie 7. Well, movie 8. So many of them. There's so many movies. So, at this point, and there's obviously prequels. So, at this point, you're just sitting, prequels as in, Rogue One. So, you're sitting there and you're just like, some people are like, you know what? I'm okay that this movie felt different. Others are like, no. But others are like, okay, I'm happy this movie felt different. So, in my opinion, yeah, there's some that are like, no, I want to see something a bit more like what I thought was going to happen, or a bit more like the last one, or the ones that I remember. And then others are like, no, this has to change drastically. And in this case, I just feel like either change drastically or don't at all. I say it's funny. I say at all, obviously there's going to be differences, no shit. But when I say at all, I'm referring to just keep Sadako.
Right.
She is needed for a reason. Or if you're not going to keep Sadako, like I said earlier, make another ghost. Make it or do something like this. She can't be the only evil one in her family. The rest of her family can't just be nice people. There has to be one.
Nope.
I'm sorry. There has to be one.
Sadako is the ultimate evil, and it's only because nobody wanted her.
Also, another thing, too, right? We fucking, they even mentioned in this movie, what's really creepy is that apparently the fucking sea has something to do with Sadako being born. And it's kind of like, hey, maybe we should kind of look into what the fuck's going on with the water. Wouldn't that have been interesting?
Right. Oh, God. you just see Godzilla come out of the sea. Look, I don't know what you humans been doing, but there's something weird down there, and I am not comfortable, and it's supposed to be my home, so you need to do something about it.
I thought it was going to be like they just go into this. They go near the sea. They see like a giant Godzilla sitting in a rocking chair smoking a cigarette. Just, hey, do you know Sadako's mom? It's like, I remember her. What was it, 30, 40 years ago now?
Oh, my God.
It's like, that makes sense.
Oh, my God.
That makes a lot of sense. He's a goblin, right? Technically?
Because she, oh, my God.
Is that right? No, but seriously, though, in all seriousness, right, I feel like I know that there is a Ring Zero, to be fair, so there is, and that was a manga. I'm pretty sure it was also a book as well, and it is a movie. So there is a Ring Zero movie, to be fair. So I'm pretty sure there is, to be fair. I think it follows the Rasen timeline, though, and not this one. But still, I just really wish we knew more about Sadako in this film, rather than just like, hey, like I feel like maybe the creator's hands were super tied in what to do.
Maybe.
And thought maybe people would want, like people are totally going to want to, have these characters come back. But then, like I said, maybe just keep the characters throughout the movie. Like, don't upgrade these people to main character status and then just kind of hush them away a little bit. That's just my take on it. But yeah, so Tristan, say one more nice thing so it doesn't seem like we're shitting on this movie.
Oh my God.
The costumes were nice. I was
had a really nice coat.
You're right. He did. I was freaked the hell out when it was like, but you died, and then they had her on her little fucking hoverboard to like pull her out of the shot.
Oh jeez. Right.
No, they had to have her on like some kind of like what am I thinking of, like a dolly?
Yeah.
But it still was fucking brilliant to just see like the shot stand still, but she's just moving while standing still. I was like, duh, that was so good. And then her face comes out, and I knew it was coming, but I still said like, just out loud.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, none of this. She's just like brushing her hair in the mirror. Just you hear Sadako, why are you wet? I was playing with Daddy in the water again.
What did I tell you about?
About playing with Daddy and his friends in the water.
Not
it's like
true.
they like gambling and drinking brine.
Oh my God.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really creepy. Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was good. there was some good creepy stuff. It's just they didn't really follow. Like when you saw Sadako's hair in the beginning, I was like, oh, so this is how he dies. In my head, I was like, they're all gonna die, all three of them, horribly, and then they didn't, and I was like, wait, what? This isn't Sadako killed everyone in the movie.
Right.
Actually, it's funny. They get more like that later, and I don't know if I'm a big fan of how I'm hearing how they are later, but just because. It's funny. I'm not saying I want like Nightmare on Elm Street, like they all gonna be killed, like one by one, like oh no, and the killing's gonna be like worse and worse and more gruesome. I'm not saying I want that. It's just this felt like Sadako was not the main villain, and in which case, if Yoichi isn't the villain, because we shouldn't be looking at him like that. We should be looking at him like, oh no, he needs to be, needs redemption. So if he's not the villain. And Sasuke, good God. My brain tried to go for Sasuke and Sadako at the same time. And Sadako, stop it, don't laugh at me. Sasuke would kick your ass. Anyway, but if it's not Sadako, and the tape isn't necessarily shown, I guess you could say it's the vision of the tape. But as far as we know, again, only 2 people died, and we didn't really get to see like a big grand Sadako entrance from it. We saw a different take on the first scene of the first movie later on in this movie, and that was great. I will stand by that. That was really crazy, seeing her side glance was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But I still think it was lacking.
Right.
Like the movie lacking. I think that's the worst thing that a movie can have. A movie that's either a sequel or that a movie is like just in general, right? Just a movie in general that says, hey, no, there's a bad guy, and then there just isn't. It usually plagues superhero movies, actually. When it's like, oh, we totally have a bad guy, and it's like, no, you don't. Or there's like too many bad guys so that none of them really stands out and they're all kind of shit.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it usually plagues superhero films where, like, you either have too many bad guys so they all don't really stand out, like in sequels, or you have one, but it's just, it's not really there much.
Right.
So, yeah. What was that?
No, I'm just agreeing.
Okay. I don't know if anyone heard that in the broadcast, but the phone cut, like, into a and I was like, oh, God, 7 days.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone heard that. I hope you guys did, because then this joke, just reference, didn't make any sense. But anyway, so I think we're going to wrap things up here.
Because if they didn't hear it, then that means it's just us. And, well...
Oh, God, it is 7 days. Shit. All right. So, all right. Well, oh, God, dear fucking God. Anyway, look, all right. You want to say anything nice about the movie before I wrap this up and pray to a bunch of gods?
I hope you can get that VHS player you have at home working.
I'm going to fucking burn it. But do you want to say anything nice about the film? Any other last things you want to say? Because you usually have like one last thing. You're like, but this thing, Matt.
No, I think I'm good this time.
All right. So I just want to thank you all so much for listening in, as always. Just another podcast, just another week, just another year with us doing another Friday Night Movies. Thank you all so much for listening in. Please remember to like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube via our Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel. Also, you could be also listening to us through our iTunes, which is just looking up Those Guys on iTunes to find our literal, like 400 podcasts now, 500 potentially. We have so many hours. We have like 600 hours of content, Tristan. Hold me. I'm scared. How long have we been doing this? And you can also really find us on our Blog Talk Radio account, which is blogtalkradio.com/thoseguysontheradio. Also, definitely try to check out our Let's Play stuff over at Those Guys Play. You can search that up on YouTube to find us there. And our Let's Play stuff, we actually have Season 4 coming up of Those Guys Play, where we just play one game per episode with different guests. We also have a bunch of different shows as well. We have Matt Beats Games from his childhood, where I beat games from when I was a child. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. We have Matt Beats Games. We have Those Guys Play Reviews, where we have the Let's Plays where we're just generally playing, goofing around, having fun. The reviews are a bit more scripted and fun with like little skits in the beginning and end. We also have Matt Beats Games, where I just beat games in general. We have Product Placed, where I play certain games that specifically have certain products showcased in the game, and then I'll either I'll eat them, drink, whatever it is, to like part of a challenge. So it's like, oh, the reason why I did was Coca-Cola Kid on the Sega Game Gear, and every time I lost, I drank a whole Coke, and that hurt a lot. Holy crap, that hurt a lot. My poor vocal cords. And a bunch of other shows teach tutorials where I teach you guys how to either fix older consoles, open up your cartridges and clean them out and stuff like that. And we have a bunch of other shows as well that it would take so much time to list them all. Ooh, one that I enjoyed, one that I released recently, What's in a Box. I got Tristan on for What's in a Box, which was basically putting an older console in a box. You can't see, you as in Tristan, couldn't see what the console was, and you had to kind of guess just by feeling it up, and the fans were probably shouting at the screen like, it's a Sega Genesis! And you just didn't know what it was. It was beautiful. So you can check that out, all of that stuff out on our Those Guys Play YouTube channel, and we have our TG Productions YouTube channel, which has a lot of other fun skits that don't really fit into either one. With the TG Productions YouTube channel, recently we released Dub Smash, which was a very strange little esoteric thing. It was basically like a fan dub of a really bad Hong Kong script of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the anime. So basically it was like a translation where like it was like Japanese to Chinese to English. And so I ended up reading that to do a fan dub of this clip. It was Yugi versus Kaiba in the Battle City semifinals. So you can check that out by searching up the Chidi Productions or Dub Smash on YouTube. Also on that channel, we have Toku Trivia, which is different trivia on different tokusatsu shows. And we also have a Friday Night Movies there as well, where I do video reviews of stuff that I haven't really done on the podcast, also with little skits in between. And I also want to mention on our Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel, we have exclusive clips there of Keikaku Corner, which is a weekly anime news show that you and I do, Tristan, where we're just talking about weekly anime news. All right, anyway, guys, thank you all so much. Love you guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Those Guys Radio. Look us up on Facebook, Those Guys on the Radio. And you can also check out our website, which is teacherproduction.net. And you can even buy stuff there through us to help support us, teacherproduction.net/merchandise. Buy some shirts, all that other stuff, all some cool stuff as well. And you can go to our eBay, which is ebay.com/USR/Those Guys Radio, to buy a lot of cool stuff that we have on there. We don't just have our T-shirts on there. We also have posters. We have retro video games, pro wrestling stuff, a lot of cool stuff you can get on there. And also, if you want to help support us through Patreon, you totally could, which is patreon.com/TGProductions. And if you support us through Patreon, you can actually get other cool things, like other cool, depending on what tier you donate to, you can either say, hey, I want you and Tristan to play this game, or I want you and Tristan to talk about this or that. It doesn't even have to be related to a specific a show. It could be something like, I don't have to be like do this show or do this movie. It could be, hey, what are your top 5 Dragon Ball Z fights? Or what are your top 5 Doctor Who, the Doctor characters, or the Doctor regenerations. Either, I didn't want to say regenerations, so I was thinking of like him actually regenerating. But it could be that, regeneration scenes, or it could be actual regenerations. So, or your top 5 Doctor Who companions, something like that. So you can literally have us do anything depending on what tier you pay for. And yeah, just thank you all so much. Love you guys. Take care and see you. Say goodnight, Tristan.
Nathan, are you still afraid?
All the time. All the time.